Guys, I have something to tell you. In my previous video, I claimed essentially that I am officially blackpilled with Star Wars, that I wasn't going to watch The Acolyte, and well, that lasted about 26 to 30 hours after I released that video. I have watched the first 4 episodes of The Acolyte. And I know you, I don't think too fondly of myself right now. I said something and I completely went back on it. You can call me a grifter. You could call me a follower. You can call me whatever. I get it. But I saw the pot of gold. I saw the grift. I saw the traction some of these creators were getting off on this drama, and I just had to get a piece of the pie. But I can say this is the first Star Wars that I've probably watched that I had no emotional interest in it. I don't care if it's good or bad. You know, did I want to see if it rightfully earned that 13% on Rotten Tomatoes by the audience score? Yes. A little part of me wanted to see if that was true, if it held up. So I watched it. Think of me what you will. I completely understand. But why sit on the sidelines when I can meet more of you? I can gain a little bit more following. So I did what I had to do. Not what I had to do. I did what my guilty pleasure pulled me in to do. I watched the shit, and let me tell you, I was a little concerned at the beginning. When I was watching the first episode, I was sitting there thinking to myself, a thought seeped into my head. And I was like, man, I don't know. I don't know if this is 13% bad. I just wasn't getting what everybody was up in arms about. But that happens in later episodes. There's problems. There's definitely problems in the first episode. This is not going to be a in-depth review. This is mainly my issues. And if there's anything I could say I liked, I guess I will put that out there. But I guess, spoiler alert, it earned the 13%. The storytelling is just sloppy. I get the idea of starting at point B and then going back to point A with flashbacks and showing it just feels unnecessary at times. And in the Acolyte it is. I don't know why we just didn't start with Osha and Maya, or whatever her name was, as children and seeing them in their lesbian witch coven. I don't know why we started there. I don't know why we started with Mia. I think her name was Mia, taking out one of the Jedi Masters in the bar. I don't know why after that we jumped to Osha. It's jumpy storytelling. It's sloppy storytelling. That's my first critique. You know what a second critique that sticks out as I watch this? It was when I'm watching The House of Dragon or Fallout, and I understand a lot of shows use green screens, a lot of special effects. But when I'm watching a show like The House of Dragon episode 2 comes out in about 21 minutes, yes. But when I'm watching a show like The House of Dragon, and I see the scenery, and I see the scale of the world, and I see everything involved with the episode, there's never really a moment that takes me out of it. And as I watch these Star Wars shows, and when you see something like The Acolyte with an $180 million budget, I don't know why this is happening. I don't know where the money's going. But it seems like there's a lot of the time it starts off with a grand, like a huge cinematic shot of the planet where they're at, where stuff's going on. And then when we get into the world, it just doesn't pull me in. It doesn't look believable. It really looks like I don't know the word for it, but like, the big old fancy old set these guys film these Star Wars shows and movies on. The world doesn't pull me in. It's not believable. From going from that big wide panorama shot of the planet, and then when I get into it, I'm like, dude, it doesn't suck me in. When I'm in Westeros, I feel like I'm in Westeros, especially with the OG Game of Thrones series. Man, the sets and the places they would shoot, it was just breathtaking. And granted, they were going to these sites and these places and filming. Star Wars doesn't do that. There is a little bit of disadvantage there, but with a $180 million budget, specifically speaking with the Acolyte, I wish that didn't happen. I wish I wasn't pulled out of it. And kind of bouncing back to the storyline, the relationships between these characters, it's not very believable. Like with Asha and that young female Padawan Jedi, I don't know why there was already an emotional connection. A lot, honestly, I felt like somewhat of sexual tension, and then you see the article or the interview with the actress and says she's kind of starting to crush on Osha and stuff like that. It's like, when, how, when did that take place? I just don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know when Jedi became so emotional. It seems like every Jedi we've come across in this show, they wear their emotions on their sleeves. And I'm not the biggest Star Wars guy. I love Star Wars, don't get me wrong, but I don't dive into the world like Star Wars theory or nothing like that. I'm not a junkie when it comes to that side of things. But to my understanding, Jedis are really in control of their emotions. They don't act on a whim. They don't I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. It's just it really comes off as all these Jedis are just emotional train wrecks that have they're not intact with their feelings. Um there hasn't been too much action when it comes to lightsabers. I mean, call me dumb, but I love seeing lightsaber fights and I would want more of it. We could talk about the Sith. What are people calling them? Darth Teeth, I guess. People are trying to get that started, or Smilo Ren. It's just, ah, the 13% is well deserved. Whether it be the production, the sloppy storytelling, the acting, there are a few moments, a few characters in this that I mean they're believable. The gosh, Soul, I think Osha's old master. He's from Squid Games. I like him. He's a great actor. I have no problem with him. I heard a fun fact today that he doesn't speak English. So he basically had to learn his lines and the pronunciation and how to deliver them, which is really impressive because I could see that kind of taking you out of intimate scenes with another act, not intimate, but like one-on-one scenes with other actors. I could see it really kind of being a obstacle to get through and to make it seem like it's an actual natural conversation instead of somebody just reading lines. So props to him. But I mean, there's nothing to write home about it. These it seems like filler. That's one of my biggest problems with these Star Wars shows. It seems like I'm watching an animated show, but in live action, like the Clone Wars or Rebels, and there's just a lot of filler. Like the scene where they're following that little rabbit, whatever the hell he was, alien dude. That's their tracker. Like Jedi, can you sense this? Can't you feel them? Can't you like use the force, whatever you want to say, to find this Chewbacca wannabe Jedi? I mean, do the Jedi really need a tracker? It feels like unnecessary screen time, and the episode was only like 30 minutes long. It's like they're having a hard time with making a fluent story. It just feels like they're filling shit in just to hit a certain runtime. And that drives me nuts itself because, I mean, Game of Thrones, House of Dragon, Fallout, whatever, any show honestly has a consistent runtime. It's either 45 minutes with commercials or 55 minutes with credits or an hour in credits or a little longer. It doesn't drop down to a half hour. You don't go from a 45-minute episode to a half hour. You don't go from an hour long to a half hour. I don't know how that makes you guys feel, but it drives me nuts. They have no story to tell. There is no story to tell. And then we can get on that, the Kiddo Monday or however you say the guy's name, the Jedi, the canon. I mean, anybody can. I remember how big of a havoc it was. Now I'm getting on a little bit of a roll. Remember how troublesome it was, or how hard it was to get Obi-Wan to convince Yoda to let Anakin join to become a Jedi. He was too old, too much trauma, too much emotion. Now they're letting this girl who just watched her, or not saw her family die, but I mean, saw the corpse of her mother, saw her sister try to kill her, saw all the stone catch up on flames. That's another thing that just doesn't make sense. I don't understand it. How the fuck that whole thing just caught up in flames from a little light lit book journal thing. It's silly how the sister went from 1 second loving, telling, please promise me that you're not going to leave. Please promise me you're not going to become a Jedi, to a scene later, to literally a minute later, hey, I'm going to kill you. I'm going to stop you from going. How? Maybe I missed something. How did all the witches die? We are one, we are two, we are many, corny stuff. I mean, it's just, Oh, we can get into the propaganda that the showrunners trying to enforce or instill into this storyline. We could get into that, but it just not even mentioning that. There's just problems. There's just it's the same problems after show. They're ugly. They don't look good. Where's the money going? Who's writing this stuff? Like it's sloppy. I mean, the breaking of canon, the not respecting the lore, the source material. Star Wars is dead, dude. It's so bad. It is so bad. And these are all valid criticisms. I heard a few of these, from just seeing what people tweet and whatnot or whatever post on X, and man, it's valid. It's not derived from bigotry or racism or whatever phobiaism word you want to throw out there. It's not pulled from that. I don't know how people don't see this. And this is coming from a guy who, I despise Star Wars now and what they've done to it. But I'm so emotionally tuned out that I'm just watching this carefree. I'm just taking it in. If it's good, great. I'll say it. If it's bad, I mean, what's good? I've seen people mention the music, the score. I mean, okay. Nothing that's shining through with me. There's a few moments between, like say Osha and her mama when she's saying, "I want to become a Jedi." There was some decent acting there between a 6-year-old child and that that lady actress. Like, I saw some emotion. I thought it was okay. But it just seems with every part of these shows, there's nothing ever to write home with the movies, anything about it, man. It's just so generic. It feels so cheap. It feels so lazy. It does not feel like Star Wars. When I watch the OG trilogy, when I watch the prequel trilogy, it sucks me in. I'm watching Star Wars. I don't have a care in the world. I've seen Revenge of the Sith God knows how many times, and every time Anakin turns, I'm like, please don't. Please stop. There has to be a way. And of course, it never changes. But every time I watch it, these emotions just rush to me. And I care and I'm passionate about it. And every show I've watched, I'm not going to say this is bad as Book of Boba Fett. Book of Boba Fett was trash. I'm not going to go that bad. This is better than the Book of Boba Fett. So if you like that, you might like this. But it's soulless. It's emotionless. It's just created by people that don't care, that have no passion for the Star Wars universe. They're just looking to get a paycheck, get their name on an IP like Star Wars for future projects. It's just so obvious that nobody cares, and it just bleeds out onto the screen. And it goes back to my previous statement or previous video of, demanding excellence. Stop making excuses for this trash product. Why are we defending these guys? No matter where you stand on the spectrum of the fandom, whether you're a part about the nerd dork fandom menace or the far left, I want representation. Oh my God, a fat Jedi. How the fuck are you fat and a Jedi? If you're so in tune with your emotions, if your cheese just fucking, if you're a Jedi, you're just fucking zeroed in. Your zen is there, dude, or whatever word you want to use. They're level-headed mofos, dude. All they do is care for people, protect the galaxy and shit. How are you fat? What are you doing? When are you eating? Put down the cheeseburger and go fucking meditate. Become stronger with the Force. This representation shit, how are there fat Jedis? Okay, say there's a coven of lesbian witches. Okay, you can sell me on it. I'll give you that, whatever. Say if there's everybody seems like they're born from the Force. Okay, take Anakin's story out of it, whatever. These twins are born from the Force. Okay, sell me on it. Okay. How are you a fat Jedi? How are you? What is he doing? Is he a bookkeeper? Do they not just have like a library position? Do you have to become a Jedi to go be a bookkeeper? How are you fat? How is there a fat Jedi? I'm chunky. I know the camera maybe makes me look a little thin, but I got boobs. I'm 31. I've had 3 kids. My wife's had 3 kids. I have 3 kids. I got dad bod. But that's because I just got done eating Taco Bell and I got a Baja Blast right here, dude. I ain't fucking fighting Siths and Dark users and all kinds of shit. I ain't going on missions across the galaxy. How are you fat? Representation, my lord, it is just forced on this shit. The fat Jedi, man. If that's my biggest critique, yeah, I'll say a fat Jedi. I don't understand it. I don't know how you're fat in a Jedi. Sell me on all that stuff. Okay, I won't buy into it, but okay, I kind of see what you're doing a little bit. Whatever, you're doing cheap little mimic shit here. Like, okay, it's fat Jedi. I don't get it. I don't understand how you're fat. I got no problem with fat people. I think there's an unrealistic beauty standard going on in the world right now. I think there's a little bit of a push on this whole lifting culture and shit like that, weightlifting culture. I get it. I understand, but you can't be a Jedi and be fat. I don't understand how that works. And if your only reason is for representation, what a mess. 13% for show. It's just another garbage Disney Star Wars show that they're just pumping out. They're just pumping out. I'm going to continue to tune in, though, because I'm going to stay in touch with this drama, with this show. We're going to review it. Keep an eye out for my House of the Dragon review. I'm going to do that tonight. I'm going to post it tonight. Maybe tomorrow morning. I'll probably post it tonight. We'll see. We will see. It's been how many times I want to watch it. But yes, if you like this video, please leave a like down below. Comment. Let me know your thoughts on the Acolyte. And if you're interested in future content, please subscribe. Deuces.